sphincters, valves, tubes, openings. Like
What about closing?
spots where stuff is stored? It's like it just like sucks stuff in and just stores it. Yeah. That's what we should talk about. $1 million. What you'd actually do. I'm Charlie.
This is Karl.
I'm Tyler.
This is Occasional Insight, episode 4. How was that?
So much better because you said, "How is that?" right afterward.
It seems like kind of like a shitty topic. Like, first of all, like $1 million cash is, I don't know. Like, okay, so this is cash, by the way. Like extra cash in your bank account, $1 million, not net worth. So if you own a house or something, that doesn't count. That's like extra.
Okay, so it's liquid.
Just $1 million cash.
Is it actually cash, or is it in my account?
It's in your account.
Okay, so
it's
I don't
in your
have
account.
To, go to the bank and explain to them why I'm depositing $1 million worth of cash. I don't have to section it out so that I input 9,999 every couple of months so that the taxman doesn't flag me and so on.
No, I think it's okay. Let's say it's a loan. It's a loan from someone who's giving. Yeah, it's a loan from someone.
Well, then I have to give it back. So
No, it's a loan with 0% interest that you have no obligation to pay back. It's basically someone giving you $1 million cash and using.
Why wouldn't you just say inheritance or something? That would make way more sense.
Okay, inheritance. Yeah, do you get taxed on inheritance?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. $1 million cash, legal, legit, however you want to imagine. It happens right now. What would you actually do with it? And the reason I like this question for us is because I think it would have been different before you were a dad. It would be a different answer you'd be giving. You do maybe, I don't know. For me, it might have been different before I was a parent. What I would do with $1 million.
I mean, my answer is boring. So, Karl, if you have something entertaining, you can go first.
Well, I guarantee it won't be that entertaining, to be honest. I think genuinely, if you ever came into a windfall or any kind of large lump sum of money, I think the best actual thing to do with it is to take a percentage of that money and just blow it on bullshit immediately. So put it in your account, whatever, pay your bills if you need to do that or whatever, do that. But then, because I genuinely feel that if you had $1 million in your account and you were all super, maybe other people are more responsible than I am, so maybe that's probably a reality. But I think that there would be that urge to be like, oh, I can buy this and I can buy that and I can buy this and I can buy that. So I feel like if you took, say you had $1 million and you took 10% of it even, like $100,000, and it'd be like, just fucking waste it. Go buy a Rolex, buy a fucking car, whatever kind of frivolous bullshit that you want to spend it on. Get it out of your system, and then you can actually be a little bit more conscientious with the rest of your money at that point. So I think I would take a chunk. I would obviously do the boring shit. I would pay off all my bills. I would give some money to close friends and family members. I would invest fucking near all of it. So, I mean, I think those are the reasonable answers that everyone would do. But I think that would be what I would do, is I would want to take a set amount of money and just go blow it on bullshit. So I'd buy a new computer, get a new setup of things that I like.
Is that the first thing you would do? Would you pay off your mortgage?
I would probably, I don't know.
Accountant.
It's an accountant. Also, probably try and explain to my wife and family members how the hell I just got $1 million so that I'm not going to go to prison for.
I was assuming that they would just know.
First thing I would do would be, I would sit down and figure out what a responsible amount of money I need. So, what do I need to be debt free?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would then that would give me an idea of what I have left over. So, pay off my mortgage, car payment, my credit card, line of credit, whatever. Same for my wife. So that my wife and I are effectively debt free with all the things we own presently, and then that would be determined then what I actually have left over for frivolous or adventure things or whatever. And then I
I feel
would
like
want to take it.
for most people, it's probably like that. If you're a homeowner and you get $1 million, okay, like you pay
Depends
off
on
your
where you
house
live.
mortgage,
If you live in a big city, that's not
right?
even going to pay off your mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
For most people, it's like, what would you do with like $200,000 to $400,000?
But yeah,
Like,
exactly. Jeez, you have a pretty high fucking mortgage.
no, mine's not that high, but like a lot of people have like 1-2 million homes with $1 million mortgages, six to
Yep.
$800,000 mortgages that, you know,
Anybody
get
that bought a
$1 million, it'd
home
be
in a
nice to
high
pay it
cost of
off.
living area in the last 5 years is carrying a substantial mortgage unless they had a substantial down payment.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I think. That's so the easy, boring answer would be my first one, and then I would probably, yeah, then I would want to blow some money on stuff. So for me personally, I'd probably have like a much more fucking powerful computer and PC setup than I have presently, and then I would probably want to go on a trip. I've never really taken a proper vacation in my life. Like I've never been like, all this is done. Like all my vacations have been purpose driven, I suppose. So like I've went places for my daughter's dance stuff. I've went camping and shit like that. Like I've taken time off and went and done a lot of R&R stuff and things I enjoyed. But I've never done like a proper like, I'm gonna go to Europe or I'm gonna go sit on a fucking beach somewhere or whatever. So I think my first thing I would want to do would probably be probably take the kids to Disneyland or something. Honestly, I know that sounds really fucking stupid. Just to say it, it sounds dumb, but that would probably be what I would do. It'd be like I would take a big trip somewhere and just kind of chill out. And I'll probably feel the gigantic weight of debt and everything else lift, and then just kind of see how that feels for a minute, just to kind of float. I feel like I need to be tethered to the ground. I feel like I would feel so fucking light that I would just be like floating. Oh, dude, I'd be debt free with a fuck ton of money left over. So like, I don't carry that much debt at the moment. So it would be more of a.
It wouldn't. It might be like life changing in the sense that like it changes your day to day life.
It would
because
change
of
my
like
perspective, I
everything's just
think, more
paid
than
off.
anything
You're
else.
just like like everything's just, you don't imagine keeping your entire paycheck, like basically no
Well,
mortgage, no
like
car payments.
properly invested, like even if you you pay off all your debt and you have just a little bit, we'll say you just have a little bit of debt. You pay off all of your debt, you still have at least, we'll say 600,000, 500,000 left over. You could set up like some ETFs in your TFSA or RRSP, and then you're set for retirement. You could set up like a laddered GIC so that it comes out every couple of years, and then you'd still have money left over. And you could, in theory, live off of dividends as long as the stock market didn't crash.
Yeah,
But
enough money.
$1 million it's not that
It's not
much.
enough.
What's what percentage dividends do you get? Like what? Okay, I think with one of them I know it's like 5%. So if you invested the whole thing, what's 5% of $1 million? You're getting that every quarter, I think.
Yeah, but we're assuming that you're gonna have to pay off your debt. Are you going to keep your job? Like, are we just? Is
I
this?
think you definitely have to keep your job.
Yeah, like
Would you
I
keep
don't.
your job?
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't think that $1 million is enough money that I could just walk away.
I would
Like,
probably
nearly
have
enough
a
money.
less stressful job.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I would still work, but I would go do something that I enjoy.
You would,
with a
Oh,
yeah, but
less.
you would have to continue to work. Is my point, though.
Oh,
you would
100%.
change careers though.
You
Like
couldn't quit.
it would change
I
your
think
job.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think you'd have to continue to work because after you pay off like everything, you still need, like, I mean, if you make, I don't know, 80 grand a year, let's say, then how long is that going to last you? Like $1 million, 10, 15 years, like.
Yeah, and
Living your
like
same lifestyle.
that's not even accounting for things like lifestyle creep. Like
I think
Keeping up
5% of a million
keeping
is
up with the Joneses is a thing.
5% of a million would be 50K.
no, isn't it 250? Wait, not 250.
That would be
25.
25%. 5% is
25,000.
50K.
Math is not my strong suit, but Karl is right.
Oh, because it's 100K is 10%.
That's right.
Okay, 5% is half of that. 50K every 3 months.
Well, that's
That's what you'd be getting back with the
150,000 a year.
dividends.
Yeah, and that's
Just
assuming
dividends.
there's no
but that's
craziness in the market. It's doable.
oh well, it's more than I have now.
There's blue chip stocks that pay like 5% dividends.
Yeah, for sure. But like you'd want to balance, obviously. Like you couldn't just invest it's a blue chip stock. Enbridge couldn't just invest in all Enbridge and put all of your eggs in one basket, because what if natural gas just takes a turn and dives? I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Tesla did.
But it is a possibility. Exactly, right? Like this shit happens and then there goes your 150K.
That's true. I'd pay off everything. I'd pay off all my debt. So my house, my car,
Mm-hmm.
like my credit cards, like everything, lines of credit, everything. Just pay it all off. And then I guess with the rest, I'd invest it, I guess. Leave myself with some cash. And then just invest the rest.
You wouldn't do anything fun?
Like
no. Go to Vegas for a weekend and put
well, I guess
10K on black?
I might go on a trip. But I think like I would like just take out enough for like something like a trip or like just some cash or something for that and just invest the rest. That's what I think I would do.
Yeah. Well, thing is, I can't buy the car.
Once everything's paid off, the thing is, like, think about that though. Like, you're keeping your entire check after you do that.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's life-changing.
You wouldn't really need to have extra cash if everything's paid off.
Mm-hmm.
But again, lifestyle creep.
Basically.
Yeah, that's assuming you're able, like mentally able to maintain your current lifestyle.
I think you would have to. I would have to at least.
Yeah, but it would be difficult because now you have extra.
Yeah, you need that willpower.
True.
Because what's going to stop
$1
you from just
million
being like,
even that much money. $1 million.
no, it's not,
$1
but it's enough. If you were smart with it,
Yeah,
it would be life changing for fucking a myriad amount of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you set any money aside that is not invested? Like, personally, I would very much so like 3, maybe 6. Actually, if it's $1 million, probably a year. I would probably take a year. No, that's too much. 6 months. 6 months salary, and I would put that into like a high interest savings account just in case it happened. So it would be in cash, but it would be high interest, so I would get at least something back from the bank. It's not sitting there in a checking account. I have always wanted that just for like peace of mind. I know a lot of people think it's unnecessary because if you have access to a line of credit, you don't really need it. But as far as I understand it, the bank can ask you to pay back your line of credit at any time, which they can't do with your cash. So yeah, I would 100% do the exact same thing as you guys are saying. So like high interest debt, low interest debt, I pay off my mortgage, my car, all of that fun stuff. But I think I would start with a savings account. That would be my very first step, would be put X amount of money in a savings account, pay off all of the debt, and then probably buy a standard vehicle because I miss driving stick.
Good call. Well, see, so now we've all given our practical answers. Let's have a more fun with it. If you didn't have, so say everything you just said you already have. I know we don't, but you financially, it's really doesn't matter to you. It would just be an extra $1 million that you could just fucking literally waste, air quotes waste, and just do something fun or buy shit that you would want with it. What would you buy?
I would quit my job and spend a year straight developing a video game.
Nice. Way more practical than my fucking answer. Charlie?
I've always wanted to since high school. I have
That's
a
cool.
vague idea of how to do it, but I've never actually.
You could take the
sat down
time to
and tried.
actually learn and do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's
It'd be
fair.
cool to learn programming, learn graphic design, all of it. And there's
Nice.
a lot of expensive software involved.
Yes, there is. Very nice. I have a similar answer to that vein that I'll give in a second, but I have a stupid answers for what I would spend the money on. There's two things I've wanted my whole fucking life that I would buy that are just fucking dumb and impractical.
So if I'm clear, it has to be spent basically on like entertainment.
No, it just has to be spent on, just anything that you
Something
would want.
other-
Just something frivolous. It doesn't have to be about setting up for your future. You're not worried about putting money aside for your kid's college fund, or you're just
Okay,
buying some
yeah, I
shit
guess-
that you want or doing something that you would want to do with that money.
Something your mom would look
okay.
at you and be like, Charlie, that's irresponsible.
Okay, so like basically everything that I would spend it on that's like, something to help myself, I already have. So it's like, oh, I'll use it to
Yeah,
pay
you
off
don't
my-
need it anymore. It's
That's
just
already
frivolous.
done.
Frivolity.
It's already done. Okay. I would probably honestly, I feel like I would gamble it if it just.
I knew
really
that was going to
didn't
be your
matter.
answer.
I would
That's fair.
gamble it, I think.
Okay,
If
now
it
I
didn't
want to
matter.
know, would you roulette? Would you blackjack? I'm assuming high stakes poker.
High stake poker?
High stakes poker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd play high stakes poker and just
Just lose it. That's fair.
yeah. I'd probably be on TV because that's what they do. They put bad players like with the pros.
Oh yeah,
Throw it
totally.
on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a content creator poker championship at one point. I don't remember who.
Oh,
put
that'd
it
be
on.
cool.
What was it? A YouTube video?
Yeah, I think so. It's either on YouTube or I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find it for you.
All right.
Frivolity, man.
Yeah,
I would buy
definitely,
dumb
it's
shit.
cool.
It might have been Poker After Dark.
That sounds familiar.
It would be pretty easy to burn through $1 million playing.
Well, it'd be easy to burn through $1 million doing anything, really.
Yeah, I could spend $1 million in less than 20 minutes.
Can I buy like a helicopter? Or
Yes,
like that
frivolity.
insane?
Whatever the
I've
fuck
already
you
got
want. That's what we're saying, dude.
How much does a helicopter and a pilot cost?
Oh,
Probably
you-
like you
Did you
a pilot, right? You
helicopter
buy
and a pilot?
How do you? Yeah, I think you buy the pilot.
Well, you would hire the pilot. You don't,
Yeah, you
own
don't
him
buy
or
the
her.
I love it. I love the fact that Charlie's trying to buy humans, you fucking piece of shit.
How does that work?
If the man $1 million and the first thing he's buying is a person.
I got $1 million over here. Everyone's like, so?
Get over here, you're mine now. Oh, dude, my there's 3 things I would do if I had $1 million and I could spend it on whatever the fuck I wanted. I would immediately buy a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. That is the car I've wanted my whole fucking life. I would buy a Porsche. I would buy a Rolex because they're just fucking amazing. And honestly, I would take about a month to myself and I would just go fucking explore Japan. I'd be out. Fuck this. Out of here.
In your Porsche.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Wasn't
Wait,
sure
so
if you were
you-
buying the
you-
Porsche to just like have it or if you actually were one of those people that were going to drive.
I would drive. They could be my everyday driver, dude. I'd go to the fucking grocery store and buy a bag of milk.
So you're gonna go to Japan when
That's
you
actually not
just
true.
got a new Porsche?
Dude, there's 3. See, I'm a multi-car kind of guy. So like, I would have the Porsche. That would be for track days and like the sun's shining, and I want to go cruise. I would probably have a pickup, like a fucking Sierra, something like that. Which again I would need to pull the trailer with the car and all the shit to go for track days. And then my like everyday driving car would probably be something, I don't know. Well, probably be the truck, and then my wife would probably have like an SUV. I'd probably buy like a fucking Range Rover Discovery, something like that for my wife and my family because it's safe and comfortable and nice. And then I'd probably drive a pickup truck, and then I'd have my Porsche that no one would touch but me.
Cars have never done it for me. Like
Really?
I couldn't care less. Point A to point B, man.
Fuck that.
Like,
You guys are stupid.
give me the
Same.
Honda Civic or
Well,
like
that's fair.
uh,
See, I feel the same way with you though, Charlie. Like you
Impala.
saying, like high stakes gambling and shit. That just seems like the literal biggest waste of fucking money, time, and energy that I could possibly ever imagine. There's
I'd
not
get off
a.
3s and 7s and just give up.
What's that? Sorry.
I feel like if I had $1 million and I was going to play it on one hand of poker, I would be dealt 3s and 7s.
Oh, I have
that.
no.
No, I
just
wouldn't.
think that would
I
happen.
wouldn't do it quite like that. But
Okay,
you know,
how
I'd play
would you
like
do it?
$10,000 tournaments and stuff, and like
Mhm.
maybe like cash games that are
still
like
all-
100, 200, or something like that, like pretty high, you know, and just slowly, probably slowly lose it.
So, like, you would attempt to become a professional poker player? Because
Yeah,
that's
why
what they
not?
do, right? Like, they just have a bunch of money and they play high stakes
But
games over
again,
and over and over and over.
this is implying that everything that I to have dealt with in order to do that is already dealt with. So I've already
Yeah,
got my
Yeah, it's
mortgage paid off.
frivolity, man.
I've already got
Yes, that's the
no
whole
car.
point of
Yeah, that shit.
frivolous spending, dude.
I've already bought a helicopter and a fucking human being.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Pilot.
People are gonna come at you for that one. I own a
I think
human.
they like. No, I think they raise the helicopters like the pilots. Like they've known each other since birth and shit. So you can't separate the pilot from the helicopter. I'm pretty sure.
That's not how that works at all. But carry on.
Pilots.
They just went to school and learned how to do shit. That's
Okay, so all right, let me ask one thing now.
mm-hmm.
What do you think of the term money cannot buy happiness?
I absolutely think that that is true. I don't think that money. I think money can do a lot of things for you. Don't get me wrong, and I think it can make you comfortable. But I don't think that it will actually have a overall effect on your true level of happiness. I think if you're a happy person, you will find happiness in your life, whether no matter what your financial situation is. If you're a person who is grumpy or stressed or whatever, those personality traits are going to carry through. I don't think any amount of money or fame or celebrity or whatever else is going to make you into anything you are not. You will be probably more relaxed because you don't have necessarily have debt or things being held over your head that could make you, you know what I mean? I think it would decrease your stress level for sure, but I don't think that it would make you a happier person just because you had money.
I think to an extent. To an extent, that's true. To an extent, I think having a lot of money, you're going to be healthier because you're going to be less stressed, and you're probably going to be and getting better depending on how much money you've got. Up to a certain amount, though. Like I don't think there's a difference between 1 billion and like 10 billion. I don't think there's a huge difference in your the way you live your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it depends. Like if you make 100 grand a year,
Mhm.
you might only need 80 grand a year to have everything you need and be happy. You know what I mean? So I think up to a certain amount. I'm pretty sure they did a study actually, and they found that $5 in US a year is like
How much?
that's
Sorry?
the number. 85,000 US a year. Like that much money you need in order to be happy. Anything after that is, yeah, it's like great, but you need about that much to get everything that you would need to be happy. So really good food, cooked properly, like no stress, and you do exercise and you pay for maybe yoga and shit like all that stuff. Everything is like healthy lifestyle. 85 grand a year.
But
USD.
US.
I
And that's probably after taxes, I would assume. Because that's a good
yeah,
amount
but
of money.
I think it's your depends on. Well, I'll let Tyler answer first before I argue the points. What's your take on this?
I think time is happiness, free time specifically. So being able to choose how you spend your time is that is what I would consider happy. If I had all of my free time or all of my time as free, then I would be a happier person. Money could, in theory, do that, but I also agree with Karl that you have to have a specific type of mindset. If you're already a negative person and you have nothing but free time, you're still going to be a negative person.
I can answer that as a negative person by nature. If I have more time to myself, it's worse.
You would be more negative.
I would be more negative because I find
Yeah.
time to pick apart the things that normally I don't give a shit about because I have other things occupying my time.
So I'm a pretty positive person. I don't stress about much. So if I had a whole bunch more free time, I would spend more time with family. I would ensure my family had more free time to spend with me, which I think I could do that with money. So for me, yes, I do think that in theory, happiness could, in my case, be bought with money. But I don't think that that's the case all the way across the board. Look at all of the lottery winners who have won huge and ended up completely broke and bankrupt 5 times over without family. Like, money can also cause unhappiness in a very significant way. So yes and no is basically my answer.
Yeah. I think that money has. I think one statement that is true is that money is probably the root of all evil. I think that's a very true statement in our society that we live in today. It's how it's used. Well, I would say that it is because, and the only reason that I say that is that a good majority, and I do feel pretty confident in saying this, that a lot of the world's woes, once you step past religion, are all about making money. And there is a exponential amount of people, companies, corporations, however you want to look at it, that the making of money is more important than the damage it causes to the environment, the damage it causes to people. None of that shit matters as long as you're making money. So as long as money is held, and not to everyone, but I do feel that to a lot of people and in a lot of positions and situations, money is more important than human life. Money is more important than environment. Money is more important to certain people and certain situations than basically anything. And if that's the case, then everything else can be thrown away to achieve more money.
If it was the root, though, I feel like it would be unanimous across the board. Everybody would be focused on money and nothing but money, where I think that's not the case.
I think it's a higher percentage than your optimistic mind
Oh
would
no,
say, and it's
it
a
is
lower percentage
definitely
than
a
my
high
negative than
it's
my
definitely a
negative
high
mind would say.
percentage, but yeah, like I have more faith in humanity than that, I guess.
I'm not saying that the other systems work better. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying in a perfect world, all of it would work. It shouldn't be an issue at all. You should be able to make money and then help people in a capitalistic environment, in a Marxist environment. In theory, everyone should be provided for and everything should be great. But the problem is that you add people to the equation and greed and money, and then it all goes to shit. Because someone has to have a room made of amber. Someone has to have. Well, no, but that's the truth. I'm not even being an ass about it, but it's the truth. It doesn't matter what side of the coin you look on. Someone has to have more than everybody else. Someone gets greedy and needs to
So-
have that Porsche 911 GT3 RS. So fuck everything else because that's what that person wants. Nothing else matters.
So you don't believe in UBI then, like universal basic income? Universal basic.
Oh,
income?
100% I do. I think it would be great. Dude, I lean more towards this is going to be fucking a hot take. I think in a perfect world that a communist, like Marxist society would probably work better. Because the artist would be able to go do their art, the fucking painter would be able to paint, the actor would be able to act, the guy who's an amazing engineering talent would be able to engineer shit, and everything would work better. But they don't fucking work because human beings get involved. Like if AI could run it without becoming fucking Skynet and killing us all, but if AI could run the system and everybody had all the basic necessities, the 85,000 USD, like Charlie said, but to be able to do whatever the fuck makes you happy and whatever the fuck you're good at. How the fuck would that not be better? Really, I mean that like in all seriousness. How would that not be better?
The average person doesn't know what they're good at. 2, there are not enough people.
AI can determine. It's fine. It's fine. I know.
Sure. The average person would not choose something like, we'll say, brain surgery, because how do you know that you're good at brain surgery?
Well, there would have to be aptitudes and testing, but yeah, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Like not that I'm against it, but my largest, like every time I think about it, my brain comes into does, we'll say, an esthetician deserve to make the same amount of money as a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist? And every single time I think that, no, not really. And that's like the core basic principle of a UBI.
But to be fair, by that exact same knowledge in the society we live right now, the Kardashians have more money than everything you just mentioned, and they shouldn't have it. So that actually makes me more disgusted than an esthetician making the same amount of money as a brain surgeon. If I'm actually being honest. But the thing is, like in the Marxist societies, it doesn't work that way. There is a tier set so that you do have, like everyone has the basic necessities provided for you. The extra things that you do, or the extra thing, or the extra things that your job would mean, is like that brain surgeon would be driving that Porsche. That's part of where you are. Whereas an esthetician would be driving a Honda Civic, and they'd be living in a basic 2-bedroom apartment or whatever. Right? Whereas that brain surgeon would be living in potentially a condo on the waterfront or whatever the fuck, however you want to look at it, right? So there is a level, like the more that you would do, the more educated you are, the more key your
proficient.
Yeah, then then your profession is the higher the status ladders you would climb.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. I don't think
so
that's
a
like problem.
2 paychecks. You'd be getting 1 paycheck from we'll call them the government in this situation, which would be your universal basic income. Everybody would get that paycheck. And then you would get your other paycheck from your work. A doctor's paycheck would be higher than an esthetician's.
Exactly.
That could work. And then if you're a creative type and don't want to do something, like I could, with my universal basic income, I could take that as my entire check, not seek out a job and spend 12 months trying to develop a video game if I wanted to.
That's right. Well, and
so
if you
has the opportunity to pursue their creative dreams.
That's right.
Yeah. It sounds great on paper.
Oh, absolutely. Then people get into the mix and it all goes to shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think, Charlie? What's your take on it, man? You think money can buy happiness?
Well, yeah, up to a certain point. I think it's kind of like your question of like, what would you do with $1 million? So long as you almost had to spend it on like something extra. It's the same thing. If you have enough money to pay for everything that you need, yeah, I think happiness is like your issue at that point. It's not so much that money can buy happiness, but like in and of itself, but it can give you the things you need to be healthy, which I think you need in order to be happy, relatively healthy,
I
mentally and
don't
like
think
physically.
I don't think that's true, because there are plenty people, maybe I shouldn't say plenty, but there are definitely people who are unhealthy, who have life altering disabilities or things like that, who are happier than I am with none of those problems.
Mhm.
I don't think that had
Well,
that. Well, that's why I think that even classically and historically, like that whole saying of like happy and healthy are two separate categories, because I think that's true.
I just think it like we're underestimating the diet. Like you need like nutrition. You need proper nutrition to like
I
really.
don't.
I get being joyous and happy and content, but at the end of the day, you need proper nutrition, and I think like I just think you need that in order
I
to be
think
truly like happy. Like
I think you
mentally
do.
happy is one thing, but you need to be physically happy.
I don't give a
Like
shit.
physically, like feeling physically good.
I mean,
I've never
literally,
felt it, so I don't know.
I physically
I've
don't give a shit. I literally don't care.
I've heard it feels good to be healthy. That's what it
My
seems
brain
like.
makes me happy. I don't care. I'm sure that it would, but I don't know. It's difficult, because I mean, then
I've
why is
never
junk
gotten
food?
like a
Yeah,
runner's
but
high.
I have.
Yeah,
I've
but
heard of
I used to
those.
do it all the time. I
I've
loved
never
it.
got
have you
a
ever been
runner's
sick
high.
for?
It's
Have
great.
you ever been sick for like 2 weeks, like had the flu or
hmm
COVID or something along those lines, and then you get over it, and you're like, wow, like this is what it feels like to be healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I think Charlie is getting at. Like, I don't think I have personally ever experienced what it's like to be malnourished or like
No.
truly unhealthy, other than having the flu or COVID. Or like I had tonsillitis a lot when I was a kid. That was awful. But like I've never actually had a severe disease or gone weeks
Neither
without
have
a
I
good
really.
meal or anything like that. So yes, I think you need those basic necessities in order to be, by my definition, happy. But I also agree with Karl that there are probably tons of people out there that are malnourished that still are like that they're consciously making the decision to give food to their children instead of having it for themselves. Those people would not be what I would consider healthy, but they're with their family, and their family is what is important to them, and seeing their child eating and thriving is making them happy. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, Charlie, but I think Karl is right. Happy and healthy are two completely different buckets.
Well, the other part of it is like, and I wish that that was true, because then McDonald's and shit wouldn't exist. Because there is a myriad of people in the world. Yeah, but what I say that is that like McDonald's isn't like, or any of the fast food options, they're not cheap anymore.
No, they're not.
They're as or more expensive than eating a real meal at home. Like I could go get a
Man,
Big
McDonald's is
Mac.
like rich people food now.
I know,
It's
but
like $12 to $20 for like two Happy Meals and like your own thing. It's like 20
it's
something
well over
bucks.
$20. But that's my point.
Yeah.
But that's the point that I'm making. So, or sorry, that's more leaning towards the point that I'm trying to make, is that would any of us say that McDonald's is healthy?
No,
What
I
brings
would.
more joy to your children? I'm going to make a home cooked meal today, or we're going to get McDonald's.
But like I don't
Yeah.
think that it's the McDonald's. It's like it's the fact that it's been put on a pedestal as a treat. Like you could make
Agreed.
the same argument for ice cream. You
It
could make the
does.
same
Yeah,
argument
Hell
for
it
yeah.
going
does
to the
come
splash
with. It
pad.
comes with an actual toy. There's an actual toy in there.
Well, yeah, I'm not even talking even just about getting a Happy Meal, though. I mean, just in general. And most people. See, I'm kind of the opposite. Like,
Those
so
fries are good.
to make. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I like McDonald's, don't get me wrong. I enjoy McDonald's. Rotund form. But what I'm saying though is that it's funny because like my wife said this to me when we first got married. I cooked a meal, and I'm a pretty good cook. I mean, I'm not amazing, but I can make some pretty decent meals. And then she said to me, "Oh wow, this is great. It's just like restaurant." And I got angry because to me, comparing home cooked meal to something that you would get at a restaurant is a slap in the face. Because unless I'm going out to like a very high end restaurant, well, so like to say that like if I made pasta and then you said, "Oh, this is as good as Eastside Mario's," go fuck yourself. That is fucking ignorant, right? Or whatever the case may be. It's like I personally am a very firmly like everything has its place and its time. Like McDonald's is good in its place, Wendy's is good in its place, the Dairy Queen is nice if you want a fucking ice cream or whatever. Like everything is good in their own niche. But like I personally would much rather go to a restaurant to get something that I can't make at home, or at least that I don't have the time or energy to put in to make at home. So if I'm going to go out and have a steak, that better have something going for it, because I can make a pretty goddamn good steak on a grill at home myself, and I don't need to go spend that exorbitant amount of money to have a overcooked, underseasoned, whatever. It's kind of that point, like you were saying, like when something's put on a pedestal or made to be a treat, that's kind of when it becomes outside of that. But I mean, would you rather a home cooked, like, would you rather make a burger at home or have a McDonald's burger? Which is fundamentally better? I know it's going to be dependent on the day, the time, and whatever else, but like, is your definition
Burger
of
at home.
Right? I'm the same.
Burger at home, 100%. But I have home cooked meals every day. So I recognize eating out, going to Subway or McDonald's or something like that as a special occasion, which is like what I'm assuming the kids are getting at when they go, "Oh yeah, McDonald's," is because they have home cooked meals every day. They do not have McDonald's every day. If they had McDonald's every day, when you said a week later, after a week after week after week of Big Mac, okay, we're having a home cooked meal, then it would be, yay, a home cooked meal. It's just
true,
how
I suppose.
would, like, it's a conditioning thing. Now that being said, yeah, 100%. I will always pick a home cooked meal unless I don't want to put the time into making the home cooked meal, because
there are certain foods that are just too much
time
work.
is precious. And yes, some things are way too much work.
It's funny. I used to think that it was like a compliment both ways to say, oh, like to be at a restaurant and it tastes home cooked is a compliment, and to be at home and get something and say, oh, it's like restaurant style, that seems like a compliment too. But I think, yeah, it depends on what it is. I don't know. I can't think of any examples, but
mac and cheese. I would never go
cheese.
to a restaurant and order mac and cheese or a grilled cheese. Things that I could make at home in less than 5 minutes are not something that I am going to order when I sit down at a restaurant.
But what about what's worse at a restaurant than at home? Like, hands down, fucking way worse. No matter what. It might be pasta, but I don't think that's it.
No,
because I'm sure there's like Italian restaurants and shit, like nice ones that make like pasta better than I don't know.
That's a hard decision.
It depends on what you're. See, the thing of it is, I think that statement's difficult. You need to tie it to like a style of restaurant. So is it like a chain, or like a franchise of restaurants, or something like that?
I think I have it. I think I have the answer.
Go on.
Yeah, this is definitely the answer. It's a side of vegetables.
You mean like just like chopped carrots and broccoli and that kind of stuff?
If I'm making like a dish at home and I have a side of vegetables, it's going to be better than any restaurant.
I would say depending on the restaurant, but I would say salad options usually at a restaurant are better than the salads that I personally would make at home.
Yeah, because they buy the expensive Caesar salad dressing.
Well, and it's all the extra shit. It's all the accoutrements that go along with it that I won't buy to make one salad. But if you are making 100 of them, then it makes sense to have that extra stuff. So I would say like vegetable side of vegetables might be worse, but I would say that a salad is probably better at a restaurant than what you'll make at home.
Better I can actually do easily. For me, making it breakfast, because making breakfast stresses me out. Timing everything so that like the bacon is done at the same time as your eggs, and
Well, when you make bacon like Charlie and I do the smart way, it's easy to time it out.
in the oven. Yeah, I do that too.
Every fucking time.
Yeah,
Every time.
100%.
Eggs are so quick. You know what? Eggs take the same amount of time for me to cook them, slightly longer than it takes to toast a piece of bread.
Yeah,
So like I start my eggs, and it takes like 2 minutes to like really get nice eggs done.
But timing them in order
nice
to cook
egg.
breakfast for the entire family stresses me out. So I just don't do it. Like if we're going to do it, somebody else in the family is making the breakfast, and I will assist, but it's not me.
It's not on you who's doing it.
So,
Well, that's fair, and it's actually the one meal that I can make at home. But that's the one meal. Like if you said to me, okay, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, what's the one you're going to go out to a restaurant to have? Breakfast is the one. That's the one. It's the same thing right now. Like if I was coming into town to see you guys, and you're like, "Well, we'll grab a meal while we're here. What do you want to get?" The first thing that I will say almost
All
every
day
time will be
breakfast.
breakfast. Yeah, all day breakfast around brunchy time would be the perfect.
You know what though?
Love breakfast.
It's always so affordable
Yeah, me
though.
too, man. Me too.
It's always so cheap.
just
Like
good.
the breakfast place near my place
And
is
it's
like
wholesome
it's
and
like
filling.
fucking like less than $20 for like 2-3 meals. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's bacon and eggs and like fucking fries and shit.
Mhm.
But I think you're right. If all three of us were like, oh, let's fucking go somewhere to eat, yeah, it would be all day breakfast. That's the best
100%.
option. 90% of the time.
I've never met a person that didn't like going out for breakfast.
Yeah, so money sucks, but it's great.
It's
But money is like
necessary.
celebrity. It's the same
Would
thing
you go back
to me.
to barter?
Yes.
Do you think we could successfully go back to barter?
No. Well, I say no only because the majority of people that live in the world right now can't even make their own fucking toast. So
Back to what?
The barter system.
Trading. Like I make this, I trade it for you who makes this. Like
what, like chickens and cows and stuff?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, I'll give you 3 chickens for like
Karl
you
goes
build me a
out,
house.
Hunts a deer. Karl trades you venison for you make shoes. Karl trades you venison for shoes. I need
like this game.
Watermelon, but Karl only has venison. You have shoes.
I love this idea. I should go hunting all day. This is fucking great. I'm in.
Honestly, like
count me in.
If
man.
we went back,
I'd be a huntsman
to a
for
bartering system, then yeah, you would be a huntsman, and huntsmen would be highly sought after because there is a huge disconnect between the average person and where their food comes from right now. And I am 100% guilty of it. I would love to go hunting, but I don't think I could actually do the actual killing portion. And I'm okay with that.
It's a very fucking disturbing feeling. If I'm being honest.
No doubt.
It's one of the most
I don't know
contrary things I've ever done. It is because there's
you eat it though.
Well,
so it's like different because you know you're gonna eat it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know not just me, my family and my extended family, and it's and I grew up with it too, which also makes it something that's more doable, I think, for most people, because it was normalized early in my life. Like I remember being a little kid. Like I have memories of being like little, like I don't know, maybe 5 or 6. Like petting the hanging deer and stuff. In them, so like that gives just part and parcel. No different to me than. But there's also I think
it's probably like us with fishing.
Yeah, I
fishing
was just
is like that
for
thing. Us.
Yep. Right, and the same thing for someone who's never done it before. It's just but there is a massive disconnect with people and food, like where your
Oh,
food
yeah.
comes from.
As far as the average person is concerned, their
Grocery
food
store.
comes from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I
Well,
get mine. That's where I go hunt. That's where I go hunting.
hunting and your weapon is money.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, if you shoot the groceries before you buy them, they're usually free.